here because it's less now.
Oh, isn't it like 75 now?
Yeah, it's 77.6.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That is pretty awesome. Now, I'm going to ask you to do an introduction. Let's see. Yeah, we're good. Okay, we got our first viewer. We
Yeah.
can begin.
Viewer.
All right. Welcome. And for people that are coming late, welcome to you as well. Glad you made it. I'm Coach Tom, and I am with a very special guest today for our Friday CSI Live. Hope, would you be kind enough to introduce yourself to all the viewers watching the live stream or watching the replay?
Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm very big on there. Hi everybody. My name's Hope. If you haven't seen me before in my posts in the group, I know I'm not the biggest poster, but I know I get a lot of response when I do. I have been a GH fasting warrior since the beginning of May of this year. And should I drop the bombshell right now, Tom, or tell them more before I get to that?
Where do you live? What do you do? Who are you from? Do you have any kids? Do you have a husband? Do you have a dog? Do you have a cat? I mean, tell us about
Okay.
you. The
Okay.
person Hope.
Well, I am currently I live in Illinois, the suburbs of Chicago. It's not where I'm originally from. I'm originally from Michigan, so equally cold, but I lived a large chunk of my life in Arizona and I miss it terribly. I'm so jealous of you, Coach Tom, living out there in California, I gotta say. Let's see. I have a significant other. Um, and I'm going to tell you this. I've never mentioned this to you, Coach Tom, but the reason he's a significant other and not a husband is because not long after we got together is when I gained the weight and I wanted to look good in my wedding photos.
Oh, wow.
So you may launch me actually finally tying the knot with him.
Wow. And it's kind of like
Yes,
it all came together, huh? The
yes,
weight loss
yes,
and the marriage.
yeah. And
Well,
I have two kids and a dog and two cats. So yeah, and my kids are both teenagers, 19 and 15, both boys.
wow. Well, I think a lot of people watching this can relate. Speaking of which, if you're watching us live, let us know live and where you're from and who you are, especially if you haven't clicked that link to show your profile. And if you're watching the replay, do the same. Replay who you are and where you're watching us from. Because since I made this slide, this has even changed. Hope is a living example of how frustration can turn into success and how struggle can turn into strength and how lifestyles can shift. Hello, Sonia. Sonia, you'll be on one of these someday soon. All right, and that's the whole purpose. Because I'm not a woman. I'm a guy. In case you can tell by my slight goatee or other masculine features. But in any case, but I understand women's hormones and I understand that it's metabolic and emotional. And talking with you over the months, especially recently, I realized that there was some definite metabolic things going on, some emotional things going on. But you just got in the car, put your foot on the gas, and made progress ever since. And that has been eye opening for myself, for other people, and probably for you as well. So, what I want us to do is share a little bit about your story and your weight loss progress because everybody, I would say 99.4% of all women that tune in, they have weight to lose and they're frustrated because they can't. And when Hope was younger, she was a size 3. High school, she was only 105 pounds. And yes, she's only 5 feet tall. But her weight went up and up and up and up and up. Now, before we talk about what happened from high school to 48 when she got to her highest of 315, Let's talk about where she's at now. She started off 315, and by July she was down to 275. And this is all from GH fasting, hormone healthy foods, mindset shifts, metabolic shifts, and really getting her hormones healthy again. Not through dieting and excessive workouts, but actually by balancing her hormones. Down to 275. Thank you, by the way, of posting these pictures. Give everyone some proof as it's going on. September, she's down to 253. Life's looking different. More proof, just in case you like to see the scale pictures as we go, and her toes. Thank you for sharing those.
I should probably do my toes. Like purple nail polish or something.
Well, I like the truth there, and I really like your face pictures too, showing that changing. Now, metabolic hormones are changing: insulin, glucagon, cortisol, leptin, ghrelin, growth hormone. But if the emotional hormones are keeping anyone stuck, it's going to be very hard to break through plateaus. And we've hit a couple plateaus, but Hope was very open minded. Now, today she's down to 237. How many pounds is that in total you've lost, Hope?
It's not quite 78 pounds. I'm
Not,
at it was I'm at like 77.6 pounds, so not quite 78,
well,
teetering
let's
around
say
78.
77 pounds, almost 78. Yay. In your most
Yes.
authentic language, how is life different now, 237, than it was at 315?
Oh my goodness. I am so much happier now. I just joy is the emotion that comes to mind. And I can move easier now. I can do things easier. What else? I actually it's kind of a funny thing that happened a couple weeks ago. Because I've gotten my family not completely doing everything, but they are doing a few things. I've gotten them to change a few things. And we took an Uber to my son's football game the other day, and it never fails when it's all of us. They always send out the tiniest little car, and we're all kind of all crunched in there. And I noticed it was significantly less tight in there the last time we had to do that. We all like fit comfortably, even in this tiny little car. And just, yeah, everything is just so much better.
I can 100% believe and relate to what you're saying. Now, you said the word comfortable. Like a lot of women, and I believe you even share that you weren't feeling comfortable in your own skin.
No.
How, let's talk about that. Like, can you remember how it felt to be 315
Oh,
and
yeah.
compared to now? Like, let's try to go back to that time where, oh my gosh. Because I remember
I
you did one
I
of
did
our
not feel like myself. What?
you did one of our low barrier programs, one of our intro programs, and
Yeah.
you like sought me out and said, "Let's get." I wanted to do
Yes.
the 90-day, and after that, you said, "I want to solve this problem once and for all." Uh, how was it? How was life being uncomfortable in your own skin back in before we chatted in May?
Um, it was I did not feel like myself. I would avoid the mirror. I mean, I have my bathroom has like this huge mirror that takes up like the whole wall, and I'd go in to brush my teeth and with my head down, and I wouldn't look at myself. I just I did not like who I was. I just it was awful. That was it. It was awful.
But it's not awful anymore.
No. I may not be at my goal weight, but it's not awful anymore.
But you're progressively making progress every month.
Mhm.
And if you get stuck a bit, we break through it pretty quickly.
Yep. Even on days, I mean, like I weigh myself every single morning. I weigh myself, and I mean, it was not. I mean, I have that nice little straight down, and for the most part, that has been it. But I mean, there have been days when it would go up a couple pounds, but Normally, when I'm dieting and it goes up, I'm like, here we go again. Not anymore, because I know, you know what? Couple more days, I'll be gone. It'll go away, and it'll take some of its friends with it, and it'll break right through this, and I don't even stress about it anymore.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And it's for everyone watching. It's not your day to day weight that matters. That weight does matter to me for data, but it's not the old school. Hey, I lost weight. I gained weight. I was successful today. I wasn't successful today. It's the weekly average that matters because when you're adjusting your hormones and healing them, and you are actually activating growth hormone and glucagon again. Those are the fat burning hormones. Your weight's going to fluctuate tremendously. So your weekly average, as long as it's lower than the week before, then we are on the right track. So it's almost like a mindset shift you made along the way. Well, it's exactly what it is. Shifting
Mm.
your the importance you placed on the daily weight, realizing that day to day weight doesn't matter as much as the overall weekly average and the drop each week from the week before and the month before. So let's talk about what happened. I mean, yeah, I had you down for 75. You're down like almost 78 pounds.
Yep.
And so even over the last week, you've had a small breakthrough where the weight started coming off again. I'll take it. I'll take some of its friends with it. Love that hope. Yeah, they lost some pounds and lost some of their friends too.
Yep.
Here's the
Usually it's
thing:
the other way. It brings its friends with it. Nope, it's taking its friends. They're moving out finally. They're being
your
evicted.
yes, and your hormones are telling your body, "Hey, let's return to our natural state,
Mm-hmm.
our natural metabolic weight point, instead of where I've been stuck for these years. Let's get back to what we normally feel great at." Now, I'm gonna get nerdy scientific for a bit, and then we're gonna talk about how the weight came on. Everyone, please listen to this part. Forget everything you think you know about weight loss, everything science and your nutritionist and your doctor and your last coach and your last trainer told you. And if I was your coach 20 years ago or even 15 years ago, forget what I told you. It's not calories in, calories out. Calories matter less than you realize. What does matter is the messages you're consistently sending your body. Because if you're telling your body to store fat, it will. If you're telling your body to use fat for energy, it will. The problem is we don't realize the messages we're sending to our body. And there's two different ways we communicate: hormones and neurochemicals. Now, here's where it gets fun. Yes, when you postpone food the right way and eat the right foods, you will release fat burning hormones. Those are your metabolic hormones. But if you are thinking negative thoughts about yourself and feeling negative emotions about yourself and about your life, you're going to increase cortisol. And when cortisol levels are high, your body is always going to be in fat storage mode, fight or flight. And so you're kind of working against yourself. So the emotional hormones and neurochemicals, they matter almost as much and sometimes as much and more as the metabolic hormones. So not addressing those would be an injustice, and it also would not shift everything that needs to shift. So, Hope, what is your overall goal?
Um, you mean weight wise or like everything or
You can say let's talk about your health, your weight and health right now.
okay. Weight wise, about 100-ish pounds. I mean, it kind of depends. I'm hoping there'll be a little muscle on there that never used to be there before. So, around 100-ish. And health wise, um, well, I'm type 2 diabetes, so like keeping that in normal ranges, which I have already hit since starting this program. I was at like 213 blood sugar the day before I started, and I've gotten down to like the the 70s and 80s, like normal, not just pre-diabetic or whatever they want to call it, actual normal.
Are you on
Um,
any type 2 diabetic medicine?
no,
Oh,
no
that's a
medicine.
win. Huge win. So
And
increase your muscle tone and decrease the body fat.
yes.
And I'm going to use this opportunity. Your weight does not matter. What matters is the percentage of your body that is muscle and the percentage of your body that is fat. Your BMI does not matter. What matters is what percentage of your body weight is fat and what percentage of your body weight is muscle. So increasing lean muscle mass and decreasing fat mass, that's what it's all about. So if I were to ask you to make one mindset shift, everyone watching this, stop saying I want to lose weight and start saying I want to lose fat. Because you want to keep the muscle, in fact, tone it even more, and you want to lose body fat. There's a huge difference, and there's a different way to do it. You don't lose body fat by dieting. You lose muscle mass and body fat by dieting. When you balance your hormones, your emotional hormones and your metabolic hormones, it teaches your body to burn fat naturally. And before we go into how Hope gained the weight and her journey there, I want to make this really clear. There is so many medications out there now, especially with semaglutide coming out. It's a GLP-1, glucagon-like factor 1. It's called glucagon-like peptide 1, which basically mimics glucagon so you don't feel hungry. Well, there's that, and there's an arsenal of other menopausal relief, HRTs, weight loss potions, pills, prescriptions, patches, and pellets. But here's the thing, and here's the takeaway. If you're going to take notes, write this down. Your body is your best pharmacy. Your HPA access is your best doctor. Your body knows how to heal itself. You just have to give it space and the reminder to do just that. Your body is your best doctor. Now, if you are an outlier, you're way, you're really in medical danger, then of course you need to get medicine to get you out of that. But I would say if you are considering going on any type of medication, I encourage you to give your body a chance to heal itself. It is your best pharmacy, your best healing agent. And we have these blocks, we have these programs, because if you've been overweight for a while and you feel frustrated, it's not only your metabolic hormones that are out of balance. And by the way, when you go through any menopausal transition, ages 35 on up, your hormones automatically go out of whack for a while. But they will realign if you give them the right messages. Now, what we think about ourselves when we're by ourselves, what other people tell us about ourselves, the emotions, the beliefs, I call these your SP programs. And SP means self protective. Maybe at one point they protected you, but now they're actually keeping you stuck because they release cortisol, norepinephrine, and other fight or flight hormones, which makes your body store fat. So I'll stress this again, the metabolic hormones and the emotional hormones, when you align both of those and you do them simultaneously, losing weight is inevitable. And Hope is great example of that. And one of the reasons Hope is getting results so quickly is she didn't have, for whatever reason, maybe it was my witty attitude or my cool haircut, she believed what I was telling her. And she went all in right from the beginning, and her results have been great. Now, if you're a woman watching this, you're thinking, man, I've tried a million things, none of them worked, wasted a lot of time and money. I mean, I don't believe anything anymore. I get it. But as soon as your belief changes and you believe that your body will heal itself, and you believe that if it's working for all these other women, it'll work for you too, it will work faster. But most women need a lot more evidence before they go all in than Hope did. And that's one of the big reasons you made so much progress so quickly. There's other women that are following your footsteps too, going all in. But you know what? It was not always rainbows and gumdrops and unicorns and dancing watermelon seeds. I don't know.
Empty watermelon seeds.
Yeah, there was some tough times.
Uh,
So let's if you could talk us through, and really I want to think about what was happening, because you knew it was your hormones the whole time,
mhm.
but the doctors didn't believe you,
Nope, they did not.
and you continued to have life events which triggered your emotional hormones. And then when you hit your perimenopause and menopause phase, the weight really started going up.
Hmm.
Talk us through high school ends, you have your first big weight gain, you lose it again. What's this phase look like?
Okay, actually, my first weight gain was before high school. Now, I'm going to start off with saying I was not the fat kid. I have the person trying to lose weight. Like, oh, I've always had a problem. I was not. I was the really, really skinny kid. My sister's nickname for me was spaghetti legs. Um, I was probably underweight when I was 11 years old. I don't couldn't tell you what my exact weight was, but I'm sure I was slightly underweight. My mom was a little concerned because I was so skinny. And then it was like I went to bed and woke up the next morning overweight when I was 12 years old, right when puberty hit. That was my very first weight gain. And I went from like maybe, I mean, what slightly underweight for a 4'8", 11-year old, maybe like 65 pounds or so to 130 practically overnight. And then by the time I was 14, I weighed 170. And then my hormones started mellowing out, periods got regular. Um, PMS was there, but I wasn't crying over every single thing and everything started petering out. And that's when I was 105 and stayed there all through high school up until um, late teens, early 20s. And that's when I got married and my wedding dress was a size 3. And I started taking the birth control pill and then my weight absolutely skyrocketed right back up to 170 again.
Hormones.
Yep.
Birth control impacts your hormones.
Yep.
And in fact, not only does it impact your hormones, it also completely wrecks your gut microbiome. Am I saying don't go on birth control? Absolutely not. But I am saying be very aware that when you bring in an artificial hormone, no hormone works alone. When you bring in one artificial hormone, it impacts all the other hormones. And it really impacted yours because your weight goes up. And then you lose some weight. What happens here when you get up to 190?
Um, well, I'd gone back down to 105 after I decided, you know what? I'm not using these things anymore. I literally flushed them down the toilet. I was having other issues, not just, yeah, those hormones are no joke. I was having a lot of issues, not just the weight gain, but I got fed up. My doctors weren't believing me. They're telling me stop eating junk food and do some cardio. And I flushed them, went down to 105 again, and
Wait, you're
well, I'm
telling
not
your
using.
doctors that it's your hormones, but the doctors are saying just eat less and exercise more.
Yes. Yeah, basically,
You
basically.
have no idea how many women have this same story. Just
Mhm.
there's nothing wrong with you. Just eat less and exercise more.
Mhm. Tell me quit eating the french fries. There was a time in my life I didn't even know what a french fry tasted like anymore. I couldn't remember. You know? And they're telling me eat less french fries.
And
You
would you
know?
say, "Hey, I'm not eating French fries"?
Yeah. And I would tell them, and they're like, "Oh, well, you must be sneaking food in somewhere. You wouldn't look like this if you weren't sneaking food in somewhere." Yeah.
Oh, I've got to be honest real quick. Oh, this is damaging admission. I'm just gonna come clean. I have been doing this, helping women and men lose weight for over 25 years before I specialized all in women. And there were times when I worked at gyms, owned a gym, and ran a gym that I would believe that same thing. The woman would come in and tell me she's following the meal plan, she's doing the workouts, she does not know why she can't lose the weight. And in my mind, I was thinking, I don't think she's telling me the truth. I bet she's eating stuff and she's not admitting it. And you know what? I did not know back then what I know now how big of an impact hormones have, and I wish I would have. So if you're one of those women watching this, I'm so sorry. I did not know, but I do now. And unfortunately, a lot of doctors still don't know.
Mhm.
They don't
It's very
realize
true.
that if the hormones are out of whack, they will sweep you under the rug. They'll blow you off. They'll act like it's your fault, or they'll tell you exercise more, eat less, or they'll say do this medication. Hopefully that'll help. And if it doesn't, let me try this one or try that one. Sounds like that happened to you all through your life.
Yep. Definitely. It definitely yeah. Um,
Wait, let me ask you
and
one more question.
okay.
When you started gaining the weight, could you tell the doctors were treating you differently?
Yes. Yes. There was this is farther along this little story here, but there was one point, um, at one point in time, I went to the doctor. It wasn't even about my weight. I went there because I was sick. I was really sick. I had like a stomach thing and it wasn't getting better. And I went to the doctor to try to figure out what's going on. And the doctor literally looked at me and said, "Why should I try helping you when you clearly don't care about yourself?"
What?
Yeah. I cried that night, Coach Tom. I bawled my eyes out that night.
So let me make sure I understand. You went to the doctor for something completely different than weight loss, and he said, "Why should I even bother helping you if you're not helping
Mhm.
yourself?" And
Yep.
what did he mean by that?
It was a she actually, but yeah, she
It was a
she said
she.
yes. So it was another woman even. I mean, I think that's worse. I don't know. I think that might be worse. Not sure, but yeah, she basically said clearly you're not taking care of yourself. You wouldn't be this heavy if you were taking good care of yourself. And yeah, why should I help you if you clearly don't care about yourself?
How did you feel about yourself coming from an authority figure like a doctor? I mean, how did that impact your self esteem, your self image?
I was absolutely gutted. I was devastated.
For how
I
long?
just Oh, for a long time. I don't even know, months at least, years probably. I just I it was just like this dark cloud over me. Just yeah, I didn't even want to go to the doctor after that for anything because that's how I
I,
felt like they must all look at me like that, you know.
I am very sorry that that happened to you, and it seems like you had a lot of periods in life where you kept getting messages saying, "Hey, it's not your hormones, it's not your neurobiology, it's actually you and your behavior, and something's wrong with you as a person," instead of getting to the root cause of the problem and actually taking actions to fix it. Well, thank you for sharing that so courageously. And I believe that many other women have had experiences like that. But here's the thing, that hurts someone's feelings,
Mhm.
that hurts our self esteem. So we have to protect ourselves from that and not let it devastate us forever. But it impacts us because it's almost like a mini trauma that gets hardwired into our brain. And we as humans will do things to protect ourselves from that pain and that trauma. And it becomes our programs. We start believing that we don't deserve to have this health. We don't deserve to get the weight off. We don't deserve to be happy, healthy, and successful. And it becomes hardwired into our brain without
Mhm.
our permission. Like we don't want that. We don't want to think that, but it's a subconscious program. And that's where the neurobiology comes in. What time? What point in life was that, Hope?
When the doctor told me that,
Mm.
that was like how many years ago? It was probably about maybe somewhere between 8 and 10 years ago. So, like, right when I was around 40-ish.
So right when you're going into your perimenopause transition, and your
Mhm,
hormones are doing another crazy thing,
mhm.
because Here's what's you've had some trauma happen along the way too. You've
Oh yeah. Oh
had some
yeah.
life events that impacted your emotional hormones and your weight and your life, right?
Yes.
Do you want to share any of those?
Um, well, there was at one point an hour before the 27 when it shot up, there was actually a point in time when it went way down. Way down. I had when I mentioned before when I got married and it if you were here at the beginning, you know I don't have a husband right now. I got married way too early and to someone much older than me. And it was, as you could imagine, an incredibly bad mistake. And it was an abusive situation. And we're not going to go into all the details, but my weight actually dropped down to 86 pounds. When I was
Wow.
25 years old, I weighed 86 pounds. I did not look good. you know, I did not. It was oh, I look so wonderful. No, my hair was falling out. I looked like a cancer patient. People would come up to me and they're like, tell me I'm so brave, and because they thought I was in chemo or something. It was bad. I had a size 2 jeans that were falling off of me. I don't know what size I wore at that point, but it might have been a 0 or a double 0 at that point.
This reminds me of my mom, and this is why I got so into this. My mom had been overweight my whole entire life, and she was on a litany of drugs, though medications from doctors, and some I think she found and prescribed to herself. And it was the drugs that were making her not want to eat, and it would definitely what caused her heart attack soon years after. That's when I became like solely focused on hormones and helping women not go through what my mom went through. Um, were people asking you if you were on drugs?
Um, I don't think I got too many people asking if I was on drugs. They just thought I was really sick. Like I said, they thought I was a chemo patient or something. They're like, "Oh, you're so young, you're so brave, going through this." And I'm thinking, you know, which I was going through things I was too afraid to tell anybody about, but it wasn't chemo.
Here's what I want to point out. She lost a bunch of weight when she had an emotional experience, and then she gained it back and gained even. And you, like you would say, you gained the weight back, and they brought friends.
Yes.
She gained weight when she had emotional experiences. None of this has ever been processed or worked through, so these programs are still there. These emotional traumas are still in there. So when she gets to her perimenopause years, now this needs to be heard. When you go through your perimenopause and menopausal hormonal transitions, it is a natural hormonal stress on your body. It's natural. There's nothing you can do about it. That naturally occurs. But if all your other hormones are aligned, your body will self regulate. You'll get aligned. You won't have all these painful symptoms. You won't gain a bunch of weight. But by this point in time, your hormones were not aligned. You went marching into this already with hormones out of whack. And then when the menopause and perimenopause starts, they get more out of whack. And then we have the upward climb.
Mm.
Talk to me about how life felt when you went from 105, less than 105, looking like a cancer patient, to bigger than you ever thought you could be.
Oh my goodness. That was when it started with the whole I don't even want to look at myself in the mirror. Um, just yeah, I didn't like who I saw. I didn't like, I would avoid cameras. I mean, like a few months ago, you would not have seen me on a live like this in front of other people. Not at all. It's like I have 15 years with the person I'm with now, and we hardly have any pictures at all of like us together or me at Christmas with family, anything, nothing, because I avoid cameras like the plague.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Well, and I knew your story will be valuable to many other women. And I also knew your reluctance to take pictures of your body or your face and to get on camera. But, like Zara just said, your struggles into strengths and to be proud of how far you've come, because when we change our physical health, it is a catalyst for so many other changes in our lives. And now here you are doing a live for anyone to see that will be
Yeah.
broadcast again and again, sharing your struggles and sharing how bad it sucked, how bad it felt. And this is going to help someone else that otherwise would think, I can't do it. I've given up. I've tried everything. It's going to help them take that next step. Now, did you know during this time that your hormones were the issue?
Yes. Oh yeah. The one at 27 years old, like at that point, prior to that, my weight had, I had um packed my bags, moved out, filed for divorce, all that stuff. Things, my stress settled, my weight, I started getting back to a healthy weight. I was back to 105 is where my body seemed to really like to live at that point, and I was at 105. And you know, at that point, I was actually considering joining the military so I could get money for college and stuff like that. And, the recruiter weighed me in as 105. And then 2 weeks later, they weighed me and I was 130.
Mm.
And I'm like, there is only one thing, because I know my body, and I know that my body never gains weight except for major, major hormonal shifts. So there's only one possible explanation. And sure enough, 9 months later, I
Okay.
had a bouncing baby boy.
Yeah. Well, there we go. That's a natural hormone change.
hmm However, before he was born, when I was 9 months pregnant, I was tipping the scales at 190 pounds. Like my weight almost doubled
Right.
during that pregnancy. I
Now,
remember running into one of my mom's friends right after he was born, and she thought I was my own sister because there's no way that little tiny person and you are the same person.
and that's just emotionally for you. Like you learned to laugh it off. You learned to act
Yeah.
like it was rolling off your skin, but really, how were you feeling?
Oh, I felt awful. And once again, the doctor is yelling at me. My OBGYN is literally yelling at me because obviously I'm eating too much and not exercising enough, and because you shouldn't be gaining all this weight, blah 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 blah. And the thing is, I was I was not eating like any. I mean, I was eating obviously, but I mean, I was hardly eating anything. I didn't have a car, and I was walking on average like 4 to 5 miles a day. Like, how much more movement do you expect me to get, Doc? And I worked a job where I was on my feet moving all the time. And he's telling me, you need to exercise more, and you need to be eating healthy. And it's like all I ate was vegetables. I wasn't vegan, but I was practically vegan at that point.
Did you tell your
And
doctors that you don't think it was your eating or your exercise? You thought it was
yes,
your
I
hormones?
would tell him, and I would still get the oh, you must be eating something. You must be eating something that's not you're sneaking in the chips or the French fries or the why is it always potatoes? I don't know. You're doing something. You're candy something. What are you craving? You're having one of those cravings or something. It's um
Is it safe to say that you could tell the doctors did not believe you?
yes.
Now, did you try anything besides doctors as the weight continued to climb up to 315?
Yes. A few years ago, 3 years ago. It was. I'm trying to remember. Was it before? I think it was pre-COVID. I think so. Probably around 2019. I think. Um, I actually invested several $1,000s in a personal coach and diet and exercise program, and I think maybe I lost 15 pounds in the several. It's like it was, oh, invest this much money for this many months. And I think I may have lost 15 pounds during that time, which of course came hurtling back as soon as when it ended. And it was like it was already starting to go up before that time period ended, so I didn't renew the thing. And yeah, it all came hurtling back.
Why is this program working for you?
Um,
I mean, I'm
I
totally switching. I'm going from what didn't work, what sucked, to like, why is this working? Because you're the one making it work. I'm giving you the tools. You are the one taking action.
um, to be fair, I think when I met you, my mindset was if you told me cat poop would cause me to lose weight, I would have gone and grabbed the litter box and eat it. Maybe some ketchup with it, but I would have grabbed the litter box. So I mean, I think part of it was just I was ready. I was just so ready to, I don't care. Tell me to stand on my head every night, Coach Tom, and I will do it. Recite the Bible backwards. I'm going to do it.
But there must have been something that made you believe, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about. I'm going to go all in and do it. Because you're a smart woman.
um, I think it really had started with the ad that I saw, and I mean, it was not the fanciest ad. It was just you talking to the camera, but you were talking about hormones and women having hormonal changes. I don't remember the exact details, but it absolutely resonated with me with everything I'd gone through at that point. And I mean, I admit I was still skeptical. I was still skeptical. I'm like, yeah, yeah. At this point, dieting and trying to lose weight was practically a part-time job. And despite being the overweight person, I was the person you could go to ask about stuff like, you want to learn how to do keto? I can tell you how to do keto. You want to learn how to become vegan? I can tell you how to become vegan. You want to learn how to become carnivore? I can tell you that one too. I've done them all.
So you tried
You
all the
know?
diets.
Yeah.
So for all those watching, diets don't work, so don't do diets. Eating hormone healthy food, eating like an adult, don't stuff, don't starve, and then letting your body have time to heal by postponing food the correct way will always work. And recently we started working on the emotional hormones, the emotional parts, the old beliefs that will keep you stuck. And then you have these new beliefs now about yourself, your ability to get healthy again, your ability to take control of your life again. Tell me about the new beliefs that are forming for you. Or maybe they're the old beliefs that just finally got, they're off the authentic ones that have always been there that are coming back to life.
Well, one of them is one I mentioned earlier is before when, I'd step on the scale and then, oh, I went up 2 pounds. Before it was like, oh, great, here we go again. This one's not working either. And now it's like, it'll be gone in a couple days, and I just go on with my life, go on with my day. That's the first one is just, yeah, it doesn't even phase me when it would absolutely devastate me before if I gained a pound or, whatever.
So I
Um,
understand, like in the past, if you gain a couple pounds, you would just feel like, oh my gosh, I'm a failure, and I'm not doing this right. It's not going to work. I'm going to gain
yep.
all the weight back, and I'll never lose the weight. And you would feel all these hopeless type
Mhm.
feelings. Hope. Those are the emotional hormones I'm talking about, and those are keeping so many women stuck. Just thinking that and feeling those feelings releases cortisol, norepinephrine, the fight or flight hormones. And guess what your body does? It says, I'm going to keep you safe. Let's keep all the fat. Let's keep all the fat. Give me, you're only going to eat 200 calories a day. We're going to keep 100 of those for fat because I want to keep you safe. Your body doesn't know any better. It's trying to keep you safe. But now you're giving it a different message with your thoughts, with your daily habits, and the way you're eating food and your relationship with food. Anything else that made this work for you where nothing else did?
um, the mindset definitely was a big part of it. And just um it's there in my head. Um I swear it was something I was gonna say and now it's gone. Um
It's like I know what you're gonna say, but I bet you're worried about. I get to stop all the time when I'm on camera. You're worried about saying the right thing so people think it's. Yeah, don't worry about that. I believe you're on the line of talking about realizing, becoming aware of how much of an impact those old beliefs, old things, and that they were there, even though you laughed them off for so many years and buried them so deep you didn't think they were impacting. But to realize, oh yeah, that is happening. Does
Yeah.
that does that sound about right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, figuring it out, and yeah, not the avoidance thing. Yeah, that's something I've done for a long time. Just everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. No, it's not fine. It's not fine at all. But everything's fine. You just smile and I'll get through it, and that doesn't work. Just smiling and trying to get through it doesn't work. You actually have to feel it and believe it and know it. You can't just pretend.
That's very well said. And and you have that whole feeling of taking care of all the things on the list, taking care of you,
Yes.
your family, your kids, your husband, finding a job, getting a job, doing good at a job, all this stuff. Like there's always this ongoing list of things to do and never ever getting it done, but thinking about it all the time. And Dr. Weaver calls that the Russian women syndrome. I like to call it the Russian warrior syndrome because I do that just like that. But when I do that, and when you do that, when anybody does that, you're releasing cortisol. You're releasing the fight or flight hormones, norepinephrine. You are putting your body into fight or flight mode all day long. It's like a constant cortisol drip. And that's one of the things we've worked on with you is when we're starting to get stuck now, it's not because of our metabolic hormones, it's because of that cortisol drip coming back. So
Yep.
everybody, whether we see each other again tomorrow, viewers watching, I know I'll see you. Hope we got some ways. I'm
Yes.
gonna make a bold prediction before we get off this too. Whether I see you tomorrow, whether I see you in a year, whether I never see you again, remember this: awareness. Become vigilantly, consistently, just passionately aware of what's going on in your mind up top, what's going on in your emotional feelings, and become aware of that. Just deciding on a moment to moment basis that you become aware of what's really going on and to realize a lot of the ongoing stressful thoughts and feelings are our own doing. We don't have to keep doing it. And when we recognize them, release them, and replace them with the truth, like today's a healthy success, I'm a healthy success, the truth, it changes your hormones, it changes your neurochemistry, it changes your epigenetics. Neuroplasticity, epigenetics are absolutely true and real. And to have a long term weight loss, health change, it requires having a mindset change. So be aware. Awareness, that is the gift we give you. And hope, whether you realize it or not, helping you become food aware, hunger aware, thought aware, emotional aware, and working on your awareness skill the whole time. It's like a new skill of becoming aware. What other skills have you learned? What would you pass on to any viewers watching this that have given up hope and don't think get it? Give it up.
Yes.
I like your name, by the way. It just seems too good to be true. But what wisdom would you pass on to them?
um.
I'm gonna give you a second to think about it because I'm gonna make a bold prediction.
Okay.
Hope is gonna lose. She'll be the first woman starting from scratch in this program since we made the shift to focusing on metabolic and emotional hormones, hormone weight loss recovery. She will lose 100 pounds and then she will lose more. And she will do it with a smile on her face because as she's losing the weight, she will also be downregulating those old emotional programs that make her feel stuck. So I'll say it now. Hope is going to lose 100 pounds and probably more. But I am going to guarantee that she's going to lose 100 pounds just continuing on the path she's on. That's my prediction to everyone that watches this video. And Hope, no pressure. You just keep doing what you're doing. Now, what would you say to the women from your point of view? A skill, some wisdom. What would you share with them, woman to woman? I'll stay out of it.
um. Definitely become more aware of your body, and like just even just the process of knowing when you're hungry and when you're not is like a big huge mind shift, that just by itself. And then, like you said, all the emotions and stuff, just being aware of, oh, I'm doing it. I'm focusing on things I don't need to be focusing on right now. And I'm worrying about stuff I don't need to worry about. And yeah, just being aware is probably the most important thing you can do, and having the can do attitude. I know it's hard. I know everyone's, yeah, yeah, right. I can do that. Ironic. I mean, like sarcastically, I can do, no, you need to believe that you can do it. Having that shift in mindset is huge.
And you know what? You experienced this, and I recommend everyone experiencing this. Prove to your subconscious mind that it's true. Start your day off with your morning mojo, apple cider vinegar and some water. Start it off with some movement, with some measurement, with some mindset mantra, and then make your bed. Already, you've had a successful morning. You've done healthy things. Your subconscious will believe when you say, today is a healthy success, I'm a healthy success. It will believe it. So just keep reminding it that all day long when the negative thoughts come. And you will start reshaping your neuroplasticity, your neurons, because the neurons that fire together wire together. And if you fired the same pathway for years and years, I'm overweight, I'm hopeless, nothing works for me, your brain believes it and it's going to support your belief. However, you have the ability and you have full permission and now the tools to rewire your brain and reprogram your metabolic hormones. All right. Rowena said, Hope, proud of your ongoing commitment and fighting spirit. The blessings are in the battle of the hormones. Rowena, myself, our whole team is so proud of you. And honestly, there's been times where a woman's hung up on me. Someone doesn't show up for an appointment, and I just look at you and I see your progress. And I say, yes, I'm making the world a better place. Even, yeah, one person at a time. So I am so grateful for you having the courage to share your story and to share it with as many people that want to hear it, read it, and I mean, seeing is believing it, so you got to believe it. And I'm super excited about the rest of your progress. What does being a life light warrior mean to you? That's my last question.
um Well, like the word says, warrior. It means finding that inner strength and not giving up, and knowing that you can do it, even if even if life has told you over and over again you can't.
Mic
Knowing
drop.
that you can.
Mic drop. All right. Is there any keep up the amazing work from Facebook user? And if there's any last second questions, um, type them in now. Grit to never quit. And if anybody wants to say any parting comments to Hope, I'll read them out loud. Read it out loud so she can hear it. Yes, Hope. So you have a fan base. You have people
Yes.
that are inspired by you, and let me tell you the secret of this thing called life. We're inspiring people with our actions that we're not even aware of. We have the ability to devastate, discourage, and take the hope out of people with our actions and beliefs. So by you making this shift and believing in yourself and getting yourself healthy, you're actually making the world a brighter place. Starting with your small radius, to everyone who watches this video, to everyone that watches it in the future, by us improving ourselves, especially how we're feeling about ourselves and thinking about ourselves, we put out a different energy. We put out a different frequency, a different light that we're sharing, and it helps other people. So thank you for helping other people, and thank you for being a warrior. Because you're right, it's a battle, but I will give you all the tools you need to win this battle as long as you take action. All right, Hope. Big high five to you. I'm Coach Tom, most grateful man on the planet, and I'm super grateful for you, Hope, for sharing your story, for showing up, and for continuing to play the game of life like a warrior.
Well, I have to tell you, Coach Tom, I met you at the very end of April. April is when I have my birthday. It was just a few weeks after my 48th birthday. So you have been one of the best birthday presents I've received in a long time.
I take that and I receive it and I love it. And I'm going to give you a big hug now. Big hug.
Like back.
Thank you for being awesome, Hope. Well, that I am definitely the most grateful man on the planet. Thank you for sharing that. And I hope that anyone that watches this, everyone that watches this, gets some inspiration and, of course, some hope. I'll see you all in the next one. And thank you again, Hope.
You're welcome.
Bye bye.